Y'all haven't said anything about football this weekend.
Oh, wait. Is that what the Gamecocks play this weekend?
I think the Georgia game was the meeting of two storms. I think Georgia wasn't. I don't know what was wrong with them. I mean, they were dropping balls and penalties, and then I think South Carolina, and they have been improving. I think they're finally figuring out that their coaches, some of their coaches suck, and hopefully they fired them or got rid of them or reorganized or whatever. But Carolina's playing better.
Yeah.
So I think it was a kind of a combination of two things. How about that LSU? What did I tell you about LSU? LSU's number 2, and I don't see Alabama holding on to number 1.
Yeah, I agree.
So hopefully Penn State or Wisconsin or both will beat Ohio State, and therefore we can have the top 4 or 5 teams go for it. Because I don't think Ohio State cannot beat LSU, and I sure know they can't beat Alabama. And I don't think they can beat Clemson, but that's just my opinion. Now Georgia's known for choking, whether it's Atlanta or whether it's Georgia. So I still love my dogs, but they choke. How's Minnesota doing?
You're asking the wrong person.
Maybe y'all's mayor in Minneapolis can help out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was saying that it was a tragedy having Donald Trump at the Minneapolis, even though all those people were out there beating up on people.
That was
crazy.
A
tragedy. Well, that's that, and that's one of the first stages when you silence people.
Yeah.
If you agree with me, you're okay, but if you don't agree with me, you're racist. You know, that's that kindergartner type. It used to not be that way.
Minneapolis is a powder keg right now, though.
Yeah. And I think that has to do with I think that has to do a lot with the leadership. California is a powder keg. California is in a freaking mess. But let's keep on doing what we're doing, and we'll end up like Venezuela. Bernie's gonna take care of it. Don't worry.
Ooh.
Feel the burn. Everything's free. Tangent of 3 pi minus 0, or theta. Can't read my own writing. Tangent of 3 pi minus theta. Now, of course, you need to get your identities out. Get your tangent.
I don't even know.
Tan, 1 plus tan. So go ahead and get those out. I'll write it over here at the side. Tan, 1 minus tan. And of course, what goes first in the alphabet, A or B?
A, I think.
B, A, and B.
Yeah.
All right, take off. Now remember what 3 pi is.
Yeah.
And you can use your calculator to do the tangent of 3 pi. So I'll go ahead and plug and chug for you. So that's going to be tan of 3 pi times the tan of theta. Now the tan of theta, what is that like? It's just like saying what? X, Y. Because you have no idea what theta is. It's a variable. So if you want to put X there, you can put X and then do the algebra. But you've got the tan of 3 pi, you can punch that in your calculator. You should get 0. But go ahead and check me. Over 1 minus tan of 3 pi times, and I'm going to put an X in there. Because, or you can put the tan of theta if you want to. Now, somebody type in the tan of 3 pi. What do you get?
0.
0. So that's going to be 0 Oops, sorry. I don't want to use my animation. I need to go back to black. Dang away, CPC. 0 times what? That's not right.
Are you going to have to have something out?
Did you do,
Shouldn't be. It should be.
isn't it supposed to be tan?
Minus, thank you. I forgot, minus, thank you. There we go. And I would have figured it out eventually because you can't cancel out the top and the bottom term. All right, so tan, that'd be x over 1 minus tan of 3 pi 0 times x, which is equal to negative x over 1, which is equal to negative x. And what is negative x? So this is basically ... Dr. Harden used to, I mean, you know how to do this. Okay, so that, put the 3 dots, that means, that would be negative tan of theta. Is that a test question? Hail to the yes. So make sure. Now, you might have the tan of 4 pi minus theta. You might have the tan of 3 pi minus x. Same thing. I mean, same type question. Now, this next question is a test question because it's got everything in it. Question on this one. Settle down, Pendleton.
Sorry.
Y'all didn't say anything, Pendleton. I was just being facetious. Pendleton still hates me. Any good movies? Did anybody see The Joker? What'd you think? I thought it was good. Anybody at Pendleton or Easley or Coney see it?
Not yet.
Anybody see any movies? Because the movies really suck right now, so I just wondered if anybody saw anything decent. Okay.
Went to a concert.
What concert?
21 Pilots. It was in Greenville on Friday.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
It's a band.
If it's not old country or Southern fried rock, or I don't listen to it, or hard rock 80s. I listen to 80s, hard rock, Southern fried rock, and real country. Real country. What's Hubert's definition of real country? If you walk into the roughest bar that you know, and if you walk in with a real country artist, you know you're going to be well defended. In other words, if I walk in with George Strait, I know I'm going to be okay. If I walk in with Toby Keith, I'm going to be okay. If I walk in with some of these new country characters, I get the hell beat out of me. Name
So you like
somebody.
the Marshall Tucker Band?
Oh yeah, that's Southern Fried right there. Is that your uncle or something?
No, I don't
Well, I
think
figured
so. We might
since
be
so many
cousins.
Pendleton folks are from Spartanburg, I figured the Marshall Tucker Band, you might be kin to some of them.
Well, I'm from Pauline, so
Okay.
yeah.
Well, yeah, Marshall Tucker Band's pretty good. I love, any Southern rock. Yeah. Yeah, and you can walk in with Marshall Tucker Band, you'll be okay. Nobody's going to beat you up if you walk in with them. But if you walk in with, who's those people that sing through their nose, the 3? I love me, Barry. Yeah. You walk in with Rascal Flatts, somebody's going to kick your ass. All right. So here we go. I got given. Mandy's sitting there going, I've never heard of them in Minnesota.
Sorry, I'm not a country kind of gal.
Are you?
You
Well,
look like my
you
kid.
gotta love at least 80s rock.
Oh yeah, 80s rock I can give
The
up.
80s rock is the best rock there is next to 60s. Because there was no 1990s and there were no 2000s. So I don't know about now, but I don't think there was a 1990s as far as rock goes, was there?
Well, it was more punk,
Yeah.
screamo.
Given
Not your I'm sure.
cosine. And I like the Clash, but that's about as far as it went. 15 over 17. And cosine of B is equal to 4/5. That's going to be given. They want to find, and they'll give you a bunch of stuff. I'm going to give you A, B, C, and D over here. 1, A, B, C, and D. Sine of A plus B, sine of A minus B. I think they want the tangent of the cosine. Let's see. Tangent of A plus B and tangent of A minus B. Yep. Now, does anybody want to take a guess at what the first thing to do is?
Sine of
Sine, the cosine, and the cosine.
I didn't hear you. You mumbled. You've got to speak, articulate, and volume. Okay. First thing you do, bring old Pythagoras into it.
That's my best friend.
Is it? Good. Old Pythagoras. Were you being sarcastic? All right. Bring old Pythagoras in. Now, do you have to use the Pythagorean identities, or can you use the formula? You can use the formula. That's what I'm going to do. Put that calculator up. You don't need no calculator. All right. So, what is cosine? Oscar had a hump and a hump. So we've got the adjacent and we've got and they're both what? Positive. So let's narrow that down. All students take calculus. Where is the cosine positive?
Right side.
So it's either the first or the third quadrant. Now let's keep that in mind because that's going to help us later on. First or the third or the
Mr.
fourth.
McClure, why do you call that the third quadrant? Am I reading it wrong? Is it the first
1, 2, 3, 4.
Fourth quadrant.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. I just don't.
That's why you're going to fail. That's why you're not going to pass the class, because you won't be as smart as me.
No.
That's all right. I got you. All right, here we go. So we've got, you've got a triangle there, and then you may have a triangle somewhere else, but I'm going to draw this triangle here and this triangle here, and I want you to we got to find the opposite square root of the hypotenuse squared minus the adjacent squared, and O is equal to the square root of C squared minus A squared. Go ahead and plug those in, and you're going to get 17 squared. Somebody, that 289? Somebody check that for me. 15 squared is 225. So that's going to be 289 minus 225, 64 is equal to 8. Now we're not finished yet because I want you to write down that the opposite is 8, the adjacent is 15, and there we go. Now I want you to find the sine, and I want you to find the tangent, because that's what we're what? That's what we're needing. So go ahead and do that first. And do that over here for you that haven't done it yet. O on this one of the second triangle. Second triangle is, let's see, the adjacent is 4, 5, so that's going to be 25 minus 16, which is 9, and the square root of 9. Somebody put that in your calculator for me, is 3. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to erase that over here. And we're not even going to start yet because I'm trying to show you the way to do this without having to, quit. So I'm going to put cosine of triangle 1 and cosine of triangle 2. And I'm going to put 15/17 here and 4/5 here. All right, sine of, and I'll put the sine up here. Sine of angle 1, triangle 1. The sine Oscar had is going to be 8 over what? 17. And the cosine, or the sine of angle triangle 1, 2, is equal to Oscar had, well, this is 3 over 5. Okay, tangent. And we'll erase this and put tangent. Tangent of triangle 1, Oscar had a hump of apple, 8 over 15. And the tangent of angle 2, no yawning in class, is 3 over what? 4. Now I can erase all this and do what? Do my identities. And all you have to do is plug in what?
Should.
Now that's the easy way to do this. Now if you want to use the identities, the Pythagorean identities, knock yourself out, but I don't teach that because to me that's more confusing to the student, especially when they had the last 3 years of learning the Pythagorean theorem. So I use the Pythagorean theorem because students, grab onto that a whole lot easier. Or I could just, try to make all y'all quit and try to teach it, the most complicated, so that would up my status and my self-esteem. I could do that, make you call me professor. I could do that too. Or I could put smokestacks on my truck. One of those 3. All right, so go ahead and do those sine and all that. Sine of A plus B is equal to sine, cosine, cosine, sine. Sine, cosine, cosine, sine. And of course, that's AB, AB. And sine of A minus B is the opposite. But we'll go ahead and do this one. Now what do? Plug and what? Plug and chug, Hubert. That's right, class. So, sine of A is 8 over 17. Oh my God, we got to work with these fractions. That means half of y'all won't be able to what? Finish it. Cosine of B is 4/5. Plus cosine of A is 15/17. Sine of B is 3/5. Now, you do not need a calculator for this. All you need to know how to do is do what? It starts with a C. A, N, C, E, L. That's the word. Thank you for your interaction. Y'all really do suck. Y'all know that?
Yes.
All right, so the first one, we can't cancel anything, but the second one, we can cancel the 5 and the what? 5 and the 15, Hubert. That's right, class. I don't know if it's going to help us. It's not really not going to help us, so don't, because we have to have a common what? Denominator. So in this case, it's not going to help us, because that first one won't cancel. That's why I have notes, Hubert. You need to remember that. I don't never look at my notes. All right, so that's 32 over, 17 times 5. We can't do that in our head, so we must use a calculator. 105 plus 1545
No,
over,
5.
what?
It's 85.
85, thank you. I should have used a calculator. 85 I can't remember what is 5 of 1 to 105. I must be thinking of something else. Is it 85?
That's what I thought.
Yes.
6 is what it's
And what is 32 plus 45? I got 77 over 85. And that is this guy. 77 over 85. Now I want you to do the next one. You do B. And if you can't do it, just write it down as what? Being a disappointment to the class and to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was multiple choice.
And to Pendleton. Will be a disappointment to Pendleton also. Because we all know that Pendleton, not the class, but the campus, the sun revolves around Pendleton. So
Yeah, sometimes it's hot. Same. Same.
y'all know what's so good about doing A and B? You ain't got to change but what? A sign. I was hoping somebody would catch on to that, but. So B, I'm going to do it in red. I'm going to do B right here. And I'm going to change this. And I'm going to change this. And I'm going to change this. And what's 32 minus 45? Negative something. 13.
13.
So that, for B, is negative 13 over 85. And I had about 3 or 4 people, I think, send questions about this one. So hopefully y'all will see that this is not what? It's not difficult. It is if you don't write down your identities and if you don't have them in front of you. You know, and that takes a lot of work because you have to go to Google. Mandy, how long did it take you to print that out? It takes at least a couple of days, doesn't it? And you have to mash down what? 2 buttons?
I mean, 3 or 5 business days.
What?
3 to 5 business days.
Who said that? Who said that? Was that Pendleton? Who was
Yeah.
that?
Me.
Who's me? I got 3 little, I can't see your mouth moves. Who was that?
The girl in the back is Pendleton.
Oh, I see her. I can't see because of the wall. I can't see her hand. Thank you. Golly, she has what's it called? Oh my God, it's a personality, a sense of humor. You're going to go places. There you go. Or you're going to get fired because of racism, one of the two.
I mean, I'll let you know.
Okay. Make sure you tell me whenever you get fired. All right. Now let's do tangent. So that means we got to start over. So we got to erase all this. Now we got to do tangent. So if you have if you're the one like Mandy did, if she wrote down, got them in front of you, the tangent is going to be tan, 1 minus tan. So C is going to be tan of A plus B is equal to tan over 1 minus tan. And of course, the plus that you forget sometimes, like I did in the previous problem, goes right there. Plug and what? Plug and chug. And again, the next one, after that, you just change the what? Change the signs. And believe it or not, they're trying to get you to see that. When you're doing all 4 of these, they're trying to get you to see that. So I'm going to plug in tan of A is 8/15 plus the tan of B, which is 3/4. We can't do that. Why? It's got different denominators, so we might as well just what? quit. 1 minus 8/15 times 3/4. Oh my gosh, we can cancel there. Now, it might behoove you to get a common denominator through everything. Now that's just, you don't have to, but you're going to need a common denominator for the top. So what is the common denominator of 15 and 4? Well, let's go over here and use our handy dandy prime numbers. 4 and 15, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and sometimes 13. So 2 will go into 4 2 times, won't go into 15. 2 will go into 2 1 time. We got our 1, that's 1. 15 comes down. 3, 1, 5, 3, 1, 1. So we're done. So 9 times 2 is what? 9 times 4 is what? That's not right.
36.
Hold on a second. Oh, it should be 60.
That's right.
What did I do wrong? 2 will go into 4 2 times. 15. 2 will go into 2 1 time. 15. 3 4 5. Oh, here. 5 will go into 5 1 time. There we go. So what is, there's our 10. What's 10 times 6? 60. Now, a lot of you, okay, some of you that, build space shuttle and walk on water says, well, why don't you just multiply 5 times 4, 15 times 4? Well, that's not the way you find the common denominator. Okay, because some of you will do that with 8 and 4 and get 32 when it's only 8. Okay, so some of you that said all you gotta do is multiply the 2 numbers, you don't know what the hell you're doing, so shut up. All right, so here we go. We know that 60, so I'm going to change this into a 60 and change this into a 60. And 15 is right here, 3 times 5. We'll go in there 4 times. 4 times 8 is what? 32. 4, that's 4 right here. 4 will go in 15 times 3 is 45. And let's go ahead and, now the reason I'm doing this is because I know where most of you suck at this. Where do you suck at this problem? The numerator. Because y'all can do the denominator. Y'all can do that 8/15 times 3/4. Y'all can do that. But then when it comes to adding, y'all sit there and stare at it for 15 minutes. Or you use the idiot box because that's what you've been conditioned to do. So that's going to give us 77 over 60 divided by, well, let's go ahead. I'm not going to change this. I'm going to use 60. I'm not going to reduce it because that'll help me out canceling that 60 out when I divide by the divide by the reciprocal. So I'm going to make this 24 over 60. So I'm going to take my blue marker. I'm going to change it to magenta. And I'm going to change this to 60 over 60 minus 24 over 60. And what's 60 minus 24? Dang old 36. So that's going to be divided by 36 over 60. And when you divide by a fraction, you multiply by what? 60 over 36, right? Are y'all together with me or what?
Yes.
And what happens to the 60s? They cancel. This is how you're supposed to do mathematics. Okay? You're not supposed to, when in doubt, use the calculator. 77 over 36 is your C. All right, now you do the next one, which will be minus on top and plus on the bottom, and I'm going to redo it. And y'all know the good thing about this? Y'all can go through and change those numbers, and y'all can actually do another problem like this by just changing the numbers. What do y'all think about that? It's called home work. That's all right. Bernie will do it for you.
That's what I'm waiting on.
That's it. You got it right. That's what you're waiting on. Well, my daughter gets pissed when I say that. She said, "Oh, I got another semester." I said, "So what are you waiting on, Bernie, to pay all your bills?" Well, she gets mad.
Well, I'm mad too. No one's paying my bills yet.
Well,
I'm mad.
well, you're racist. That's why. While ago you were saying all that stuff. You're racist. That's
I
why.
know.
That's all right. I'm going to look through the grades, and whoever makes above a 90 on your Unit 2 test or whatever unit we're on, I'm going to take those points and I'm going to distribute those out to other people. How does everybody feel about that?
I feel like I should get a 0.
Yeah. So, Miss Billy, if you make a 65 on your test, I can give you some of Mandy's points.
Sounds good.
Oh, yes. It sounds good to Miss Billy. Mandy says, "Oh, hell no." That's all right. Bernie will iron out the details.
Well, if she wants to watch my kids, honestly.
Whoa, wait a minute. That would require her to do what? Work. Yeah, that would require her to do something. Miss Billy, you don't want to do anything, do you?
No.
No. All right, now I'm going to change this to a minus, and I'm going to change this to a plus, and that change this to a minus. So now we're going to do the same thing, and I could have done it without rewriting it, but it would have caused a mess, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to rewrite everything. So the tan of A is 8/15. 8/15 minus 3/4 over 1 plus 8/15 times 3/4. And of course, now you get your common denominator, which again is 60. So I'm going to take make that a 60. Make that a 60. 15 will go into 60. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 will go into 60. 15 times 3 is?
45.
So 32 minus 45 is what?
-13.
Thank you. I don't know why I have notes. I don't look at them. Divided by 1 plus 24, so that's going to be 60 over 60, plus 24 over 60, which is equal to, and I'm going to just put it over here, that's going to be negative 13 over 60 over 84 over 60, multiplied by 60 over 84, and that's going to equal negative 13 over 84. Negative 13 over 84. These two are negative, and these two are positive. And you can make a synopsis here. Whenever you take, and this is going to be part, let's see, that's part D. This will be part E. A plus B is going to be in the first quadrant, and A minus B is going to be in the fourth quadrant. Now, where did we get that from? Well, at the beginning of the question, I told you it was either going to be in the first or the what? Fourth. So now you look and say, okay, the sine of A plus B is what? Positive. And the tangent of A plus B is what?
Positive.
So that means first quadrant. And now you say, well, the tangent of A minus B is negative, and the sine of A minus B is negative. So that would be in the fourth quadrant. Because remember, the second and third is irrelevant. We've already took those out. And let me tell you something, and I'm not bragging, I'm going from experience here. If you had other teacher teach you this, some of you would be lobotomized. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I remember when I was taking trig and they got to the quadrants, I had no idea what they were talking about. I had no idea how they got this right here. Now, I don't know if you're in that same boat, but hopefully that'll help you because we deduced that it's going to be in the first and the fourth at the beginning of the problem.
Where will this take us of like figuring out the quadrants? Like, will that be something that would be?
Not in real life, no.
Okay.
No, this is all manipulation and remember, I told you at the beginning of the semester, in real life, in architecture and surveying and 1, 2, 3, 4, northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. That's the way, that's what you use in real life. And that's when you're talking mainly architecture, construction management, surveying, and civil engineering. Believe you me, I grew up in those fields. Next. That's a good test question. Why? It takes you about half the test to do it. All right, next one. But some of y'all don't have to worry because you got Miss Mandy's. She got 9 points going to y'all. So if we disperse 1 point apiece, that'll at least cover the Pendleton campus for 1 point, right, Pendleton?
Appreciate that.
Yep. And we'll just leave Sarah Payne out because she's a illegal immigrant. So we'll just leave Miss Payne out because she's not in our borders, right?
Excuse me? Where am I?
What?
Where am I?
Yeah, you're outside of the borders because the Oconee campus. We're in the class. See, you're outside of the class, so you don't get any of our points.
I don't belong.
I know you don't belong. You should be offended.
I'm not.
Oh dang it! X minus y minus cosine of x plus y is equal to 2 sine x sine of y. This is identity. Okay, so which one are you going to work with? Left or the right? The left. So let's focus on the left-hand side. Why? Because it's written, it's the most complicated. You can't use the first rule. What's the first rule of identities? To write in terms of what? Okay, so you can't use that one, so you got to do with the second rule. Second rule says go with the most complicated. I don't know about y'all, but I see cosine of A minus B and cosine of A plus B. Yeah, you didn't see it until now, did you? There's the cosine of A minus B. And I'm going to do this in animation for y'all because I care about y'all. Cosine of A plus B. All right, go to it. All you got to use is your cosine of A plus B and your cosine of A minus B. Now, of course, if you didn't do all the work, to print that out, you just have to sit there. Yeah, a couple of buttons, a couple of days of printing, a lot of work. I got to get back on the vodka. I'll tell you, this coffee just ain't getting it. I'm not even a vodka drinker. What goes in the, I always wanted to try, what is it you drink in the morning with tomato juice?
Bloody Mary.
Yeah. What's in a Bloody Mary?
Tomato juice and vodka.
Oh, is it? Dang it.
Olives,
stick.
celery.
I can't handle.
Hamburgers, cheeseburgers, bacon. They're getting out of control now.
I can't, sounds like Mandy's got a problem. Does anybody want to intervene with Mandy, maybe?
Well, you're too late to intervene. I already stopped.
Okay, well,
You know, I will say that's an
she is a mother, so she does.
16-ounce beer and drinking it down. Way better.
When I was in the Marine Corps, you know, back when I was a terrorist, we would have Boilermakers.
Have what?
Boilermakers.
Boulder?
Boiler. I'm sorry, boiler. Boilermakers. Y'all know what a Boilermaker is?
Oh no, I'm gonna be his new enemy. Sorry for picking on you.
Boiler. Okay. A Boilermaker's when you take a shot of Jack Daniels and drop it in a thing of beer.
I've seen those, yeah.
We used to do those all the time. Why? Because they taste so good? No. You get drunk quicker. In the Marine Corps, what did you do? What did you want to do? You want to get drunk cheapest and quickest you could. So.
Who's watching?
Ugh.
Prison.
All right. So what is the cosine of A minus B? Cosine, cosine plus sine, sine. Cosine, cosine plus sine, sine. Cosine, cosine plus sine, sine. Now I'm going to put my red brackets around that. Minus, is that minus symbol important?
Yes.
Yes. Very. Good job. You're supposed to say very, because you'll get it wrong if you don't acknowledge it. 2 sine x sine y. All right, now do the cosine of x plus y. It's going to be the same thing, only it's going to be what?
Minus.
Minus. Cosine, cosine, minus sine, sine. Cosine, cosine, minus sine, sine. Now all you have to do is what? Plug in what?
Chug.
This is a prime example of a calculus problem. It's 5% trig in calculus. It's going to be 5% calculus. And then the rest is 100% what? Algebra. So finish it. You did it.
I did it.
I am very impressed. You keep raising the bar, I don't know what's going to happen. God.
Go to the bar.
Raising the bar, more points, better decisions. Wow.
Well, I have to get a lot of points if you're going to share them with everyone.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We need to put bonus points in there. Hey, that might be called, if I put bonus points, that would be like a wealth tax, right? Yeah, the more extra points you get, I can put those out. Yeah, that would be a wealth tax.
Okay.
And like I say, people that drink the Kool-Aid. Okay, cosine of x, cosine of y, plus the sine of x, sine of y. Oh, we need to highlight this, because that guy right there will cause a headache if you don't do it. And that will be I'm going to do this just to piss y'all off. I'm going to write in yellow. Minus, and that will make a plus. I can't see that. Cosine of x, cosine of y, and sine of x, sine of y. Now what? Now you just do algebra. What's cosine of x, y, minus cosine of x, y.
0.
And what's one box of sugar plus another box of sugar?
Double sugar.
So that would be 2 sine of x, sine of y. And that is what that is. So you have proven using the double angle or using the sum and difference. That's a test question. So y'all are sending good questions, or I'm doing one of the two. Because what I do is I look through the problems, and then I just do them on paper, and then we'll just write. That's what I do. So some of y'all have sent these. You feel good about yourself? Miss Billy, do you think you can make an A on the test now?
Maybe.
Maybe, but she's got that cushion. She's got that safety net.
No pressure.
Hopefully you can get some more people to make over 100 so we can distribute those points out too. Next one. This is a test question because people will just give up when they see it. Cosine 0 degrees minus alpha. I don't know, but that looks like the difference of cosines to me. We just did that. So that's going to be cosine, cosine plus sine, sine. No calculators. You don't need a calculator on this one. I figure I'll just try to make you feel worse. You know.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Every time my daughter, she gets on Facebook and she complains about going to college, I get on there and I say something. And her friends, they don't have any personality. Her friends get on there or they text her and say, "Your dad is abusive." They think I'm serious. When I get on there and I say, you can always quit and live in a ditch. And that's what they say. They text her after I say that. They go, "Your dad is," what do they call it? Not verbal abuse, psychological. He's abusive psychologically. I think it's hilarious. Needless to say, both of my children are very sarcastic.
I bet.
I do it just to piss off my ex-wife. All right. So, cosine, cosine minus sine, sine. Cosine, cosine minus sine, sine. Now, if y'all notice the way I do this, I don't sit there and say cosine of alpha plus cosine of beta minus sine. I try to remember just what? Just the trigonometric functions. Now, if you want to go out of your way and remember the other stuff, that's fine. This is going to be A, and this is going to be what? B. A and B. So, cosine of 0 times cosine of alpha minus the sine of 0 times the sine of alpha. Now, all you got to do, you don't even have to draw the unit circle. All you got to do is draw your coordinates of the unit circle on the quartiles. The what? The lines. So, there's your circle. Remember, there's your circle. Looks like that. We'll just draw it like this. All right? And we know this one is 1, 0. This is 0, 1. This is negative 1, 0. And this is what? 0, negative 1. And we all know that it's backwards on the unit circle. So the sine doesn't come first. The what? The cosine comes first.
Yeah, but I have a question for you.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be plus cosine A? I wrote it, I guess I wrote it
Yeah,
down.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're right. You just like to make me, you'd like to make me look stupid. Is that what you like to do?
No, sir, no, sir.
I'm sorry, that was my mistake. Now, everybody's supposed to say, yeah, I thought that was wrong. Everybody's supposed to say that thing.
Jump on the back.
Yeah, there you go. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I thought that was.
There you go. Good, good. Thank you for that first person that said that. Again, I can't see who said it because my screen is so small. I can only see y'all when y'all text and do things y'all not supposed to. All right. So what is a cosine? Here's 0 degrees right here. So we'll just highlight this guy right here. So what's the cosine of 0 degrees? 1 times cosine of alpha. Plus, what's the sine?
0.
Oh my gosh, look at that. That goes out and you're left with cosine of alpha. So hopefully you're seeing, and once you go through these things, they're not what? They're not difficult. You just have to print them out or you have to learn them. And you have to be able to recognize, and the only way to recognize is to actually do the problems and actually get the I can't say it. Practice. Yeah. Which that's considered to be work. Y'all ready for nerding?
Mm-hmm.
All right, this one says, find, God, why did I use pink? Given tangent of theta is equal to 5, and the cosine is positive. That's what that means. This means positive cosine. So that means what? Quadrants. That means you need to look at your quadrants. Here's your question. A, I want the sine of 2 theta. And B, I want the cosine of 2 theta. Now, you're not going to be able to use the Pythagorean theorem here because you're not given what? Well, you're not given anything except for 5. Now, you could say that's 5 over 1, Hubert. And that would be adjacent over, Oscar had a hump of apple. That would be the opposite over. So you're talking about now you could do that. But I would suggest use the Pythagorean identities. Now, first of all, let's go back to the quadrants. All students take calculus. Cosine is positive.
1 and 4.
So it's either 1 and 4. So write that down or put it up at the top or put it over to because that's going to help out with your final solution. Shouldn't yawn in class. That kind of makes me feel bad about myself. That's all right. I'll wear sunglasses in my home gym. I'll make it feel better. Or I'll carry a jug of water around. That's what I'll do. Y'all ever seen those guys? Carry around a jug of water and a milk jug. They only do it for about 2 or 3 days and then they quit doing it. Shut up, Hubert. So y'all don't watch people, do you? I don't make fun of people. I just make fun of people that wear a sign around their neck that says, please make fun of me. All right. So here we go. What is the Pythagorean identity for the tangent? Tan squared plus 1 equals what? Okay, tan squared plus 1 is equal to secant squared. You're going to use that. The ones I make fun of now is the ones that have the... Y'all ever seen a dog scratch your rear end on the carpet? That's what these vehicles look like. They got squatting on the back. Now, I hate to say it, but if you got one of those, people are making fun of you. Okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, Mandy, people are making fun of you. Yeah, you do. I saw it.
Never.
I saw it outside. You got a Vega squatted. Some of y'all don't even know what a Vega is. It's a small station wagon made by Chevrolet way back in the day. Along the lines of a Pinto.
I told my kids about station wagons recently, and they really want one now.
Oh, yeah. That's what you need to do.
Bringing station wagons.
Get you a
back.
station wagon and squat it down like a dog scratching his rear end on the carpet. Miss Billy has one, don't you, Miss Billy?
No.
You got one of them squatted vehicles?
No.
Now realize, I'm not talking about you, so don't raise your hand and say, I got one. Because if you raise your hand and say, I got one, then everybody's going to be making fun of you when you leave the room. So, let's see, what else can we make fun of people? Let's see. I made fun of the guys. Usually, and I hate to say it, it's usually guys. Because women, y'all are smart. Y'all are smart. If y'all going to do something stupid, y'all don't do it where everybody what? Can see you. Women are smart. All right, what are you going to do?
Go home.
Go home. Is it time to go home, Andy?
It's almost.
It's almost? You're kidding.
14 minutes.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So, I got this. So that means I'm going to have to plug that in for the tangent. All right, go to it. Now you can find, and what's the opposite of the secant? What's that? And you're well on your way to getting this problem correct, or for 70% of the class, you're just sitting there staring at it.
Yeah.
That's okay. We'll tell you what to do after class. We'll have to change your major so you can go into global studies.
Mr. McClure.
Oh,
They
we're
have a
Mr.
Jeopardy.
now. Wow. What?
I was watching Jeopardy, and there was a guy on there that was a global studies major.
I guess if you want to be I don't know.
What are you doing?
Look it up. But I guarantee you one thing about global studies. It ain't going to have no math in it, and it ain't going to have any, I'm sorry, there isn't going to be any math, or there isn't going to be any science. It's kind of like a 7-course meal of crackers. Y'all ever had a 7-course meal of crackers? 25 plus 1 is equal to the secant squared. Okay? So 26 is equal to secant squared. Now this takes a little bit of critical thinking because secant, I know some of y'all are doomed. Secant squared is the same as 1 over the what? Cosine squared. So that means you know how to do this. 1 over cosine squared is equal to what? 1 over, I'm sorry, no, I did that wrong. It's 26. I went ahead, I went a step further. Now solve for the cosine squared. So what's cosine squared equal to? I just wrote it down. Just before I wrote it down at 26. 1 over 26. How do you do it? Well, I'll show you in case you don't understand. Solve for what? Cosine. So I got to get rid of the common denominator. And then, how do I get cosine by itself? Divide by what? 6. So the cosine squared is equal to what? Now, could I have easily just went, well, if the secant is equal to 26 over 1, what is, I could have easily done it either way right here and got what? I could have flipped it or I could have solved. I don't care which one you do. Now what?
You have to move the squares, you have to keep the square.
Well, you could, or you could use double angle. Look at your double angle identities right here. We're going to use this as a double angle identity. Double angle identity. Look at your double angle identities. They should be on here somewhere.
I don't think I have that one.
Oh my gosh. Have we not covered them?
I don't really know about that.
Okay, well, I'll write them down for you. If we haven't, this is what we're going into. I can't remember which homework problem this is. Somebody that sent it, maybe tell me which section it's, maybe 10.3. I can't remember.
Probably.
Cosine of 2a is equal to cosine squared of a minus 1. And sine squared would be about the same. No, I did the sine with the tangent. So plug in. What do we have? So what am I going to do with that 126? What am I going to do with that 1 over 26?
Please.
Y'all supposed to interact with me, but that's okay. What's so funny?
Nothing.
Y'all ready to change your majors yet?
Yes.
Good. Bernie will take care of you. And
hope
what
so.
is 2? Basically, you do the math. What do you get? 12 over what? I think you get 12 over 13, but let's check it. Let's see. That 2 will cancel 13. And then that's going to be 1 over 13 minus 13 over 13, which is equal to negative 12 over 13. And that is the cosine of 2 alpha.
Huh.
So I'm going to put that in blue. I've used blue. So let's use magenta. So the cosine of 2 alpha, or 2 theta, is equal to negative 12 over 13. Now let's find the sine. Andy, how much time we got before people start exploding?
7 minutes.
Okay.
Well, they might explode sooner, but that's fine.
Okay. Now, we're going to use the tangent to help find the cosine. Because what is sine over cosine? Tangent. If I can use the tangent to find something, then I can write it as sine over cosine. So, for part B, I'm going to use the tangent double angle. And I think I gave y'all these. Yeah, I know I did. I'm pretty sure I did. So I'm going to do this in a different color. Whatever color I pick is probably going to piss you off. So we'll do it in burnt orange. This is to find the sine. Okay, I'm going to put this in a box. All right, so this is part B. We're finding the sine of 2 theta. But we're going to use the tangent. Okay? And the tangent of 2a is equal to the tangent, 2 tangent over 1 minus tan. 2 tan over 1 minus tan.
explode.
Somebody's alarm went off. You're not going to explode, are you?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
I might.
All right, now what's the tan? So you might as well just give up now, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Plug it in. Plug and chug. So 2 times 5, you might want to get your calculators out for that, over 1 minus 5.
Wow.
So that's going to be 10 over negative 4, which is equal to 5 over 2. Now let's go back to the original problem. Now we have the cosine of 2a is equal to what? So what is the sine of 2 alpha? The sine of 2 theta is equal to the what? Tangent of 2 theta over what? I'm sorry, I just bass-backward. I just did it bass-backwards. Tangent, because I'm going to have to plug in the tangent. Sorry. Let me do this in another color. Let's do that. Tangent of theta, 2 theta, is equal to the cosine over the what? Or the sine over the what? Cosine. Now wait a minute. There's 3 unknowns there, but how many do we have?
2.
We have 2, so that means we can plug these 2 in and solve for what?
Sine.
Sine.
Hey, I got it right.
So what is the tangent of 2 theta? Negative 5 halves. And what is the sine? That's the sine. That's what we're looking for. And what is the cosine of 2 theta?
Negative 12 over 2.
So now we just use some basic math and multiply negative 5 halves times negative 13 twelfths. So the sine of 2 theta is equal to negative 5 over 2 multiplied by 13 over 12. And make sure I didn't mess that up. 13 over 12. Yeah. So I get sine of 2 theta is equal to 5 times 13 is going to be what? 65? Somebody help me out.
Yeah,
65 over 24.
Negative. No,
Why are you multiplying times the reciprocal?
Because when you divide by a fraction, you multiply by the what?
But aren't we multiplying it to get it away from the sign? Because it's being divided right now?
Yeah.
you do the opposite.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Okay, everybody say it. 1, 2, 3.
We thought you were wrong.
I knew it was that way. I was wondering. That's what you need to say. I was wondering. All right, let's try it again. 1, 2, 3. There we go. My bad. This is what happens when I get down toward the bottom and mess up. So multiply both sides by negative 12/13. There. I thought we were supposed to cancel something. Of course, I don't have my notes with me. They're over there on the desk. And that's going to give me sine of 2 theta. We better hurry because somebody's fixing to explode. Is equal to, that's 1, that's 2, what, 10/13? Somebody check me.
Yep. Yes.
Well, whatever. Let me look at my notes. Because I've got to hurry because somebody is having a convulsion.
I'll see
How
always,
much
buddy.
time
Not
we got
bad.
left? What?
We're at it.
Okay, I got 5/13. Okay, something's not, what? 5/13 is your answer. I've got an error somewhere. 5/13 is your answer. Did you get that?
No, I got 30/13.
Okay, we'll finish it whenever y'all come back. But y'all can work on now. And I haven't covered all of 10.3, but y'all should be able to start working on it. Anyway, y'all have a good day, and I'll see y'all when? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
And we are possibly going to have a test next week.